Hey guys, Larry Freeman here again. Today we're continuing our game here as the United States, of course. We rolled randomly for a bunch of events, including who we would play as, and we wound up playing as the CSA. So last episode we cleaned up the Civil War, and we are doing our second constitutional convention. So we have a couple options right now. So we still have like a decently sized army, which I think I will consolidate a little bit. Of course, we did spend the equipment to convert a lot of our militias over to a more regular infantry unit. These guys are being sent as volunteers over to France, and these guys we can convert over to tank units once we have enough tanks. So I also noticed here, I was taking a look around, so we have our geopolitical situation. The Canadians still occupy New England, which is a problem. So we could either justify on them like right away. Canada right now is at war with a bunch of other people over there. It looks like mostly in India. Yeah, they're at war with the Indians, the rest of the Entente. Second Weltkrieg would have just started like about 4 or 5 months ago. I think it's so that's still young. We could also send volunteers to Baharadia, which is something I think we might want to do just so we can get some kills on Entente in India. Let's actually do that. All right, so we'll send some volunteers to the Baharadia commune. They did help us out. I also noticed around here too, like I was looking at where we send an attaché possibly, and it looks like we have like base relations with a lot of these people, even though they're supposed to be internationalists like we are. Baharadia thinks we're okay. The Union of Britain likes us a lot. So I'm not sure like why we get the approves of government trade partners. Okay, fair enough. So I guess they approve of us for whatever reason. But I thought we would get like a similar ideology bonus, given that we are, in fact, we're a bunch of dirty syndicalists over here in the U.S. and we're all committing the same war crimes. But I guess not. I guess Australian France thinks we're a bunch of scrubs. What about the SRI? Yeah, the SRI even is syndicalist, just like us, and we don't get any diplomatic modifier with them. So like I thought that was a little bit weird. That could be because we haven't like sorted out our country yet. We might get that later. So, as a reminder, Reconstruction is the U.S. I'll just go over this again. It's been a couple of days since I've played this game, unfortunately. So I do want to kind of orient myself again, and we did just tag switch. So maybe that'll be or not really tag switch, but we did get a new focus, or unlock the rest of our focus trees. So, like the stuff is like all relevant to talk about now. So we have war measures still, which is going to give us negative political power, but we'll get lots of resources, lots of factory output, and lots of construction speed at the cost of also stability and war support. We build trucks cheaper by 10%. We have the Red Guard Militia's national spirit, which still hurts our organization, but gives us recovery rate, planning speed, and improved population. We have revolutionary NCOs, which is going to give us a 10% organization, some max planning, and reduce our damage to garrisons. So that kind of cancels this out a little bit. We have Industrial Juggernaut, which gives us 20% max factories in the state, which is extremely powerful, but we're not anywhere close to maxing out anyways right now. But later game, that will be very strong if we get to that level. We get 10% ace generation from red squadrons. Then we have our negative Civil War spirits. So we are recovering from the Civil War, so this is going to really fuck up our recruitable population factor, stability, and war support. We have economic devastation, which is going to hit us 15%. It's like Black Monday Jr. With construction speed, production efficiency cap, and factory output. Although we do get additional construction speed from more measures that we still have. And we have overwhelming Federalist resistance and overwhelming Longest resistance. This is going to give us a handful of negative modifiers over here until they're cleared. So we are doing the Constitutional Convention right now, and I guess it'll help us sort out which government we go. We have a choice. I guess let's come down to the Commonwealth of America. So this is like our political side of the tree. I guess we'll get a choice here whether or not we're doing Arad Suck or Cindy. Totalist is also an option for CSA. I think I haven't played a whole lot of CSA, especially post Civil War CSA. Like I think I played them once, but I didn't take it to the post Civil War phase. I didn't do Reconstruction with them. So I know Totalist is an option, but I think maybe because of the choices that we rolled for over there, we didn't really favor them in any of their events. I don't think so. maybe that'll change after this constitutional convention, but I think we'll have a choice between radical socialism and industrial unionism. And I was looking down over here, and a lot of these are just a modified market socialism. But like I imagine this will change depending on how many of these you've picked, because I can't imagine them giving you all those buffs stacked on top of each other. I think it's kind of like Reconstruction, where like all these will be reduced. Like they all say the same thing right now, but it'll be on a sliding scale. And after you start clicking these, the effect will change, I believe. I think that's how it works for the other factions. So you get a bunch of these things that will give you market socialism. And over here you get decentralized planning. Again, it's not really clear how those will pan out. So you got industrial development, industrial research, infrastructure, and agriculture. And over here, they give you the same things: industrial expansion, industrial development, industrial research expansion, and agricultural. So it looks like you don't get, or no, this is infrastructural over here. Yeah, so you get the same decisions, it looks like, as if you had gone either way. And again, why can't these just be in line? Why do they have to spread them out like this? This is a little bit frustrating to look at, but whatever. So I guess we'll see. Craft Union Committee over here. So I guess regardless of what we do, we'll have our options to do this other stuff. We'll get ourselves 100 political power, get 5% stability, and it looks like we're going to get some party popularity and stability over here by clicking these things. Fair enough. I'm not sure if I'd want to spend 50 days farming, stability and syndicalism popularity. But political power is not too bad. So I guess this gives you a double dip in popularity and stability. And these are gated, it looks like, between whichever ruling party you are, so whatever. Damage to garrisons, minus 10%, is pretty nice, especially stacked on top of the, I think we had National Spirit over here. Yeah, so it'd be like minus 30% damage to garrisons, so that's pretty good. Especially if we're going to be occupying a lot of stuff, which, maybe we will. Political power and syndicalism support, stability and syndicalism support, and special forces capacity multiplier, and an additional damage to garrisons. So, okay, that's pretty neat. I think that's like, okay, then agriculturalist, yeah, agriculturalism is over here, fair enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's so far as I can tell, there's not that much difference between the two, but that might change. That's your political tree. Over here we have Reconstruction, so this will give us the National Spirit Reconstruction, which will help us repair factories and stuff real fast, and give us civilian factory construction speed at the cost of military factory construction speed. And we will get an additional recruitable population factor, stability, and war support as we start chipping away at the recovery from the Civil War National Spirit debuff. I think these will probably be the same as the as we're playing as the PSA CSA. So click these decisions over here, and then we can play the decision minigame to fight those terrorists, which is probably going to suck up a lot of our political power. And then we have the different trials over here. There's no trial of the heavy industry companies, so I thought there would be. We got these events over here, and I guess I think we'll either be able to pick up some generals or something like that or not, depending on how evil we want to be. And of course, I'll just roll for those. And then over here, this is your recovery. You have to slam those down. Research slot, and this will help you recover. So these might do other things as well, but right now it looks like it's just the same margin. It's going to help reduce the national spirit by. So that's the Reconstruction tab. And the military tab that we've unlocked over here. So we have still, this will let us do the Navy Commander. We've done that before. It's Naval Doctrine. And this will give us additional air detection, close air support attack, air superiority. And an event over here. So I'm not sure what that'll do. And the Dust Settles. So the Dust Settles will remove this National Spirit War measures over here. And it'll give us instead a 15% stability, 100 political power, and it will also remove Red Guard militias and replace it with Reconstruction armies. So essentially, this cancels out the debuffs we're getting over here for organization. But we're also going to take it'll cancel out the buff for planning speed and recovery rate, and it'll also will cost us 3% recruitable population. Of course, that Spirit Red Guard militias gives us 1% in the cost, and we'll get stability, construction speed, and factory repair speed. So that's a little bit dangerous, given that, like, I think we're only on 1.5%. It's like once we click that, we're going to have no recruitable population available until we get rid of reconstruction armies. And the way you do that is get over here, professionalize the Continental Army, and this will remove reconstruction armies, and will give you division org 10%, division attack, division defense, and some land doctrine bonuses. Alternatively, you could use States Red Guard over here, which will give you a less organization bonus, but will give you division recovery rate. It says this has, this might have some implications if you pick this route, though. Alright, so if we come down professionalized path, we'll get factory output. This is pretty good. Factory output at the cost of political power. That's a pretty hefty amount of political power, though, but that's a pretty hefty amount of factory output, so maybe that's something you'd like to do. Maybe after you've already selected all the laws you want, that's useful. Defense, logistics, armies. We get added supply consumption, reinforce rate, and extra supply grace. That's also a very nice national spirit to have. Army experience gain and planning speed. Experience gain's alright. Planning speed, I don't usually rate too highly. And then over here, regardless of which path we go on, we'll get the always ready, always there. To give us division org 5% and experienced soldier losses minus 5%. So that's pretty strong. States Red Guard, so we got organization a little bit in recovery rate as opposed to more organization, attack, and defense. So right away that seems not as appealing. Recruitable population 1% and attrition minus 5%. That's very nice. Attrition, of course, causes a lot of equipment damage. Division attrition minus 5% again, and attack and defense on core territory. And division speed by 10%. Also very nice, especially if you're playing with medium tanks. So that's a bit of a toss-up. Like there are some appealing things on both sides. Like negative 10% attrition is no joke. Also division speed 10% is no joke. But getting a you do get 2 bonuses for land doctrine over here. You do not over on this side. It looks like. You get a bonus for Mountaineers, Airborne, and Marines. We will see. You know what? We'll give it a roll between these two as well. We'll do that. You have Red Magic over here, which will give us the Free Intelligence Agency. Of course, we've already upgrade Form Department. We already formed a department though, or Form Agency. I don't know. I'm not sure what that does. Maybe that's for the radio interception group or the cryptology group. Yeah, it's probably cryptology group that it gives you. And it'll give us a research bonus for synthetics and convoy speed while retreating and out of supply minus 10%. So that's pretty nice too. We have our tank tree finally. Lots of other guys get their tank tree during the American Civil War. And I know some people think that the developers have like a heavy syndicalist bias and the CSA is like overpowered during the Civil War, but if you've ever played as the other factions, you can get things like the Patton Plan or the Chaffee Plan while the Civil War is still going on. You just get obnoxious tank units and you get pretty massive tank national spirits. In addition to having like a more professional army and not being handicapped by having this Red Guard militias we had to clear by slamming all these things down. So CSA is real strong because of their industrial base, but you do have to survive to that point. Personally, I don't feel that the developers biased the American Civil War in favor of the syndicalists. My personal opinion, anyways. So we have an armored vehicle industry, which gives us a motorized and a mech production. That's pretty good. Armor technology. So you get 1 2-year ahead of time penalty for M5 and M9, and 100% research bonus for armor. And I imagine those would probably both apply to the same tech. Like if we wanted to rush the M9 right after here. And now that I think about it, maybe we do want to rush that focus. Just because we're going to be coming up on needing that. And it'd be nice to just get that right away. Because if we start researching this, that's kind of a waste of our ahead of time penalty. It says specifically M4 or M5 and M9. So I don't think we can use that bonus to get us the M12, which is a bit unfortunate. It's definitely not as good as Russia's ahead of time penalty, especially because you can't get it as early as Russia does. And then after you get that, we'll have the option to either choose mechanized and armor production cost negative, or we can get some buffs and production cost negatives to tank destroyers. I mean, tank destroyers are kind of pointless in single player. AI, we looked at those templates we had. I posted a video about that, and the AI is just not going to build a tank template that you're ever going to need a tank destroyer to deal with. So I would always pick armor thrust. Continental Air Force, to do that, we're going to get production costs down for like most of our important planes. That's pretty good. We get bonuses for Doctrine and a few flying aces. Bonuses for a bunch of models over here, or we get so we have a choice here again. We get either CAS and fighter, or a strategic bomber and heavy fighter. I would probably choose CAS and fighters. This also gives you popularity of syndicalism. Fair enough. And will also give you air detection and air superiority instead of this, which gives you strat bombing efficiency. I'd probably always pick state air forces. Although maybe this game, maybe we do want to try a strategic bomber campaign. That's not something I usually do. So I will give it a roll there, and I'll give it a roll. For this stuff over here. I think I'm just gonna pick armor thrust. So I don't think I'm ever gonna make tank destroyers. That's just a total waste, in my opinion, to pick this. That's a nice national spirit, but for multiplayer maybe if you're playing, but for single player, no. This is just a dead focus, in my opinion. Alright, so we get paradroppers. So we get paratroop. So I think this probably is like the other ones. Just gives you a free unit of paratroopers. And you get that technology. And we get air superiority attack and defense. So that's a very nice national spirit too. So it looks like once you start powering up here, America is going to be very strong. So we got this event, which I don't know what it does. And we can either choose American People's Navy or a new naval plan. So we get org and range factor, or max range factor negative, but fuel consumption negative. Fair enough. Range factor is pretty important. And we have a ton of fuel as America anyways, so I'm not sure if I would ever want to pick American People's Navy. We get this bonus over here, which will give us naval equipment refitting speed and ship repair speed. That's not too bad. What does this do over here? So this costs us. We have discovered the corruption in the naval industry. Okay, so this is event gated over here. So something's going to happen for this. And this gives us 3 100% bonuses for destroyer and cruiser models, 2 bonuses for anti-submarine warfare technology and anti-air guns. Okay. That's pretty sick. I'm not sure how we would get that, though. There must be an event or something. Okay. And so this gives us cheap convoys. Gives us carrier models and a naval aircraft research boost, naval experience, fleet coordination 5%, naval doctrine research speed at 15%. We have to have 300 ships to do that, though. And we'll get Continental Marines, which get Special Forces attack, Extra Marine supply grace, and Special Forces capacity modifier. So that's pretty good for Amtracs, too. That's the Army tree. And over here we have the next step, which you'll be able to do once we complete the convention over here. And we can either choose to join the Internationale or not. This will give us the leader of the new world, which will give us political power gain, non-core manpower, and focus on offense, 25%. We're not AI, so that doesn't really matter, does it? Mexico is aligned with us, so I guess we would click friendship with Mexico. We're not going to go to war with them because they're not syndicalist. We get an annex war goal against Canada. We get exporting the revolution decisions after we kill them. So I imagine that probably be moving into South America. And then we can get master of the West. Otherwise, we join the Internationale. We can send advisors to countries at war with their enemies, also providing military access to their soil if needed. Okay, so we can send aid to a bunch of people. And then we have a choice of either getting an air superiority attack and air superiority defense buff, are going for naval max range factor, amphibious invasion speed, and special forces capacity plus 10. Those are both pretty good. I get the Great Leap Forward for research speed and dockyard output, and World Revolution for stability and political power gain. So those are both kind of interesting options. One of the things that we're going to have to decide for is, of course, we could just justify in Canada right now to take our claim state back. It would only cost us 70 days. The danger of doing that, though, is we have pretty low stability, pretty trash war support. It's gonna be tough to I'm not sure if this requires us to be at peace to do any of this stuff. I don't think so. But our recruitable population is gonna go right in the gutter. We're demobilizing right now, and we do killing Canada would probably not be that difficult, but we do have quite a few ports to guard. And having no manpower to reinforce with is going to be pretty bitter. And we're not going to be able to increase our conscription law for quite some time because we're going to have to start clicking those fight longest, fight federalist decisions. So I'm thinking maybe we want to do reconstruction first. That might be our play. Yeah, okay, so I'll do the reconstruction first. We'll at least get down over here so we can start getting rid of these loyalist rebels. And I definitely don't want to click this until we can click this, probably. Otherwise, we'll just have negative 4% of real population. It's just too harsh, even if we do get some extra construction speed out of it. War measures is also pretty good. I think that'll be our plan. We'll just use our volunteers in the interim. Alright, they're starting to like us a little bit more. We sent some volunteers. Okay. Socialist Constitution, system of government. The AFL has made a splash in what many had expected to be a landslide victory for the IWW. What was supposed to be an easy article, that of the new legislative branch, has drawn a line in the sand. IWW representatives argue that America should be strictly anarcho-syndicalist government with all legislative vested in the industrial trade unions. I think they're missing some words there. These unions seek to abolish membership fees and elect representatives via wall-to-wall bargaining unit elections. The AFL argues that America should be a socialist state with power vested in local councils of professional workers. The AFL claims representatives would be elected via seniority, with full voting rights given to only citizenry that have spent some years paying dues and serving their fellow man. TUUL representative William Foster spoke in favor of the IWW, stating seniority and paying to vote is no different than graft, which is something a vanguard of syndicalism cannot support. Foster's impassioned speech, if it leads to the IWW's legislation passing, could signal a shift in support for the TUUL over the IWW. Okay, so maybe we do go totalist. Totalism, 7%. Alright, well, let's give her a roll here. 1 to 3 top, 4, 5, 6 bottom. We have rolled a 6, so people exercise power through councils of professional workers. That seems fair, right? I mean, you need if you're gonna go a whole you get experience through working, right? The greenhorn on the floor probably shouldn't have the same amount of say as someone who's been doing the job for 20 years for making decisions about the workplace, right? That's only sensical. Socialist Constitution Framework. Article 1. All power in America derives from the people and belongs to the people. The people exercise state power through councils of professional workers, which constitute the political foundation of America. All other state bodies are under the control of and accountable to the councils of professional workers. Article 2. All the representative organs of the state authority are elected by the citizens on the basis of universal, equal, and direct suffrage by secret ballot to their respective unions. Unions reserve the right to deny workers membership if the membership fee falls into the public debt. The workers' representatives in all organs of state authority are responsible to their electors. It will be determined by law in which cases, under what conditions, and in what way the electors may recall their representatives even before the end of the period for which they were elected. Article 3. No law or administrative or local rules and regulations shall contravene the Constitution. All state organs, the armed forces, all political parties and public organizations, and all enterprises and undertakings must abide by the Constitution and the law. All acts in violation of the Constitution and the law may be investigated by a commission of councils of professional workers. No organization or individual may enjoy the privilege of being above the Constitution and the law. Approved. It might be worth it to slam down one of these. That's a pretty good company. Federalist bombing. Federalists who still fight for their delusions of capitalism and exploitation of targeted factories, railways, and troop installations throughout the North Carolina, causing a great deal of damage and the loss of many lives. The National Guard are on the scene in North Carolina, and they claim they are closer to catching the ringleaders behind these groups than they were before. We shall crush those terrorists. I think we will rush tank focus after this. Then we'll start going down the focus that'll help us start countering these bombers. But I would like to stay on top of my tank technology. Alright, Socialist Constitution. Human rights and workers' rights. Oh, I'm just going to grab a drink here before I read this. I'm getting a little parched. Alright. Article 6. Citizens are guaranteed the freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of assembly, and the freedom to hold public meetings and demonstrations. Freedom of conscience and freedom of religion are guaranteed to citizens. Citizenship is defined as all Americans living legally within America during the time of ratification of the Constitution. The church and state are not obligated to adhere to each other's authority. Article 7. Women have equal rights with men in all fields of state, economic, and social political life. Women have the right to collectively bargain as men do for the same work, and as workers or employees they enjoy special protection. The state reserves the right to pay an equivalent wage up to 20 hours of work a week to mothers before and after childbirth. Article 8. Citizens of America are guaranteed inviolability of the person. No one may be arrested except by a court decision or on the warrant of a procurator. Citizens of America are guaranteed inviolability of the home. No one may, without lawful grounds, enter a home against the will of those residing in it. Article 9. The state promises working people the right to associate and organize themselves to collectively bargaining units. The state protects a person's dignity to labor from exploitation by private enterprises, ensuring the right to paid annual holidays by controlling working conditions by devoting attention to housing conditions and social insurance. Approved. Alright. Now we have volunteer micro time. Let's go see what the Entente has. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit concerned because their medium tanks are like a little bit out of date now. Who should we try to farm? Unfortunately, like none of these generals are like super awesome to farm from at the moment. Like Reckless kind of sucks. And this guy is like real sick. We probably want them as their field marshal. But unfortunately, they've got a few learned traits. I don't think they're going to gain traits all that fast, and they're not really that close to anything right now. Why can't I do that? Oh, he's a general. Alright, you're promoted there. And then I guess we'll, a tough decision here. Let's go with James Patrick Murphy, I guess. I mean, he is a bit reckless, but whatever. Let's make these guys red, I guess, for Baharadia. Guys, garrison Siberia again. We of course can't garrison Alaska to have that trick work. If we own Alaska, can we? Although I think right now those foul Canadian motherfuckers own Alaska, don't they? Do we have any planes? Yeah, a little bit of planes. I don't think there's that many air bases over here, though. Well, it doesn't hurt to send air volunteers. Acceptance not required. Okay. And okay, do we want to pick up? I was also looking too at some of these factories here. I missed the GM. Like this is an insane insane manufacturer over here. Look at that. You get medium tank cost minus 15%, and modern tank cost minus 2%, heavy tank cost minus 5, light tank minus 10. But like and you still on top of that, that's already good. But you on top of that get armor reliability by 15%. It's like that's pretty sick. Although probably not as good as soft attack and reliability 10%. Like I said, I mean, production costs when we were in America probably isn't all that important. Do we want to get Bethlehem Steel here though? This is also like another really good company here. Resource gain efficiency and factory construction 10%. Like both of them. I mean that's insane. I think let's go pick up Bethlehem Steel. I think they'll definitely help us out. I'll move these guys up over to the front over this way. See if we can farm like. I would like to kill Entente guys, and we also have the Communard volunteers over here too, don't we? So we can go with let's throw. So let's actually promote Edward, this guy Carter Jr. Let's see if we can get some experience on Smedley over here. So the reason you do that is you have these guys garrison an area they can't get to, which allows you to micro them normally, but they still count as having an order, and they will gain planning bonus if you stick them adjacent to a field marshal order that's blank right now. So like if I drive these guys over to the front line, they're standing on like one of these open tiles over here, they will gain planning bonus, and then you can kind of micro them and still get planning bonus at the same time. It's kind of a pain in the ass to set up though, and you can't. You lose that as soon as you draw a frontline order, which means microing frontline orders is off the table if you try and play with the setup. But this is a bit more fluid than otherwise. Let's concentrate on the Baharadia front though, maybe. Give people some docking rights, it's fine. Let's also start upgrading our intelligence agency. Let's get ourselves the. Do you want to do blueprint stealing? That might be helpful. The suicide pills, good upgrade to have always. Oh, another Federalist bombing. Let's actually start getting ourselves some intel in Ottawa. We're gonna have to have a reckoning with the Canadians anyway, so it doesn't hurt to do that. I'll send our ships over here. Socialist Constitution, Judiciary. The IWW has made a strong impression for removing the Supreme Court as a final appeal of constitutionality, instead making the appellate courts carry that weight, reminding members of the convention of the court's track record for legalizing oppression of unions and downright reactionary laws. Elizabeth Gurley Flynn remarked that preserving an unelected position of final legal decision could lead to authoritarianism. To the surprise of many, Earl Browder of the TUL dissented, arguing that this discrimination was the result of a corrupt party system and not an inherent flaw in the U.S. Constitution. To Browder, removing the Supreme Court would endanger the unity of the nation and lead to more schisms as had happened in the Soviet Union. The EFL have quietly dissented with their vanguardist cohort and pledged to support Flynn if her resolution passes. Alright, we'll give her a roll. I have rolled a 4, so the Supreme Court will not be missed. Man, the totalists are just having, nothing's like going their way this time, you know? And it's nice that we're rolling consistently, though. I mean, this is a bit lucky, because it means we'll have stacked party popularity for syndicalism or radsuck. Yeah, so see, we're gaining planning, even though we're on this order over here. Let's try and help the AI get across this river. boy, James Patrick Murphy. Let's see if we can get that little encircling it there. Article 15. The foundation of the economic system of America is socialist. Ownership of the means of production is in the form of public property belonging to all people and collectively cooperative property. Article 16. All mineral and other wealth underground, the waters, including mineral and medicinal waters, the sources of natural power, the means of rail and air transport, the posts, telegraphs, telephones, and broadcasting are all public property. Land belongs to those who cultivate it. The property of collective farms and other cooperative organizations and of their joint undertakings comprises the means of production and other assets which they require for the purposes laid down in their rules. The land held by the collective farms is secured to them for their free use in perpetuity. Article 18. Private property and private initiative in economy are guaranteed. The inheritance of private property is guaranteed. The right of inheritance is regulated by the state. No person is permitted to use the right of private property to the detriment of the people's community. The existence of private monopolist organizations such as cartels, syndicates, trusts, and similar organizations created for the purpose or repurposed for dictating prices, monopolizing the market, and damaging the interests of the public economy is forbidden. Private property may be limited or expropriated if the common interest requires it, but only in accordance with the law. It will be determined by law in which cases and to what extent the owner shall be compensated. Under the same conditions, individual branches of national economy or single enterprises may be nationalized by law if the common interest requires it approved. Seems like, I don't know. I thought syndicates were good. Aren't we syndicalist? Hawaii seeks to buy a destroyer. 3% document output, 3% CG factories. It takes 135 days to build a fucking destroyer. Are you kidding me? Maybe. Maybe that is accurate. I don't know. Yeah, sure. The Hawaii's even communist, first of all. Like, why would they ask? Like, aren't these like a bunch of like separatist traders? Why would they ask us for that? They are commie. Okay, you know what? You know what? They're commies. That's okay, I guess. We'll sell them a ship, sure. I wonder if that means we can get peaceful unification with Hawaii. Georgia. Of course, that's not our Georgia. That's other Georgia. Last America standing. This seems like a pretty, like, shouldn't we have got this, like, earlier? I don't know. It's beginning to dawn upon our citizens that the American Civil War is actually over. The scars from the fighting will last for a long time, but it seems as if the feeling that has already started to sink in that any chance to change America's destiny further has passed. We are now and forever more the combined syndicates of America, and the world should know that it is so. God bless America. I thought we were going to be Commonwealth of America, though. Like, now and forevermore, that seems not accurate. I mean, we're about to be the Commonwealth of America as soon as we finish one of these national focuses, right? Yeah, these Dominion of India units aren't that impressive. Socialist Constitution, status of the President. A surge of unaligned delegates has attempted to leave for at recess several times to no avail. It appears that the issue of executive power has meant an impasse, and decision must be made before the delegates arrive in indecision, or delegates starve in indecision. On one side is the IWW, whose plan for a complete anarcho-syndicalist government requires there not to be an executive officer. Their belief is that the president is inherently a reactionary populist position, and they will ensure that a person like Huey Long can never rise to power in the new America. Thomas suggests a weak head of state position. The opposition is another cooperation of the AFL and TUUL, who wish for a strong face to represent America. A leader without the means, argue, they can never save America as Reed did without power. Norman Thomas has condemned the AFL for what he sees as a Boulanger's coup perpetrated by the AFL and TUUL to revive the old federal government. John L. Lewis of the AFL rises to object, saying subordination to the IWW program is no different than a single-party state. Give her a roll. Alright, we have rolled a 5. So, a president with power we shall have. Man, I don't know. The odds of that happening to roll higher than a 4 on 3, or 4 or higher on 3 separate dice rolls is like a bit much. I mean, it's not like super unlikely, but it is, definitely lucky for us. Or unlucky, I guess, if you were hoping to see a different playthrough. Take Delhi. This is getting a little bit dicey though over here. So gotta be careful that no one decides to walk into one of these tiles left a pin. Socialist constitution, centralization or decentralization. Pause. The convention, after resuming, has found themselves more divided than ever. The core of the IWW has galvanized into a stricter dogma that pushes for the remaining articles to protect against tyranny of central government, demanding protection through the lifetime assurance of union membership and compounding Social Security with lifelong employment. Several IWW delegates have implied that the AFL has been antagonistic and would prefer a return to capitalism. In response, the AFL have been swayed by TUL to emphasize the dignity of labor in government. This argument rebukes industrial unionism with craft unionism, where the right to fair wages for fair work done replaces the IWW's goal of the abolition of wages. Browder again takes the stage, calling to protect craft unionism as it prevents the tyranny of the 51% over the 49% in union elections. Give her a roll. This was a 6 this time, too. Dignity of labor will stop tyrants. Wow. Wow. Those are all, I don't know you guys can't see them because I don't have like a camera showing it, but those are all fair rolls I made. And they're all stacked in one part. Like, that's very surprising to me. I wouldn't have expected that to have been the case. I would have expected we'd get a mishmash. But I will take it. This is a hot die, you know. If I was back in the days when I played Warhams, I'd probably definitely put this die in my dice bag, you know. 4 rolls. Ooh, 4 plus. Let's get this guy the offensive doctrine. So he will have 10 attack after he's done being recently promoted. Socialist Union, or Socialist Constitution, capital. One of the last things to be decided is the capital of America. Many are advocating for Washington, D.C. as the location of the new capital, as was the old capital, and it easily fits that purpose. Others are advocating for the loyal cities of Chicago, Philadelphia, and New York City. Which shall the convention choose? We'll give her a roll here. I'll roll 1, 2, 3, 4 for the 4 options, and 5, 6 a roll again. We've gotten a 2, so it will be Chicago. So our streak of 4 plus is busted there. But you know what? I don't know. Chicago's like a pretty alright capital to have, I guess. We're gonna slip around there and kill ourselves some more evil Indians, I guess. Or well, technically we're helping the evil Indians. I guess those would be like the imperialist Indians. I'm not sure which India is good India. I'm not too familiar with, of course, the princely Fed there. Get Panzer Expert. I mean, obviously we're gonna want Panzer Expert. I think we're almost gonna have our next tank model soon, so we might want to save our army experience for that. We might also want to get ourselves a 14-4 template. You might need that later. Saw some engineers. So we got some deserts. Like, so I'm not sure if we should try and like kill these guys, like try and farm. Like a ranger would definitely be a good one to have. We could feasibly farm a ranger down here. So like maybe we want to do that. What about over here in France? Well, we are being pierced, so that's interesting. I don't think we're likely to make a breakthrough there, though. It's like usually the best spot for breakthrough is like in I've done Charleroi before, but that might not work with the quality division we have now. Metz is also usually a nice tile to push into. The interim president. On the final day of Congress, John Silas Reed, better known as Jack Reed, announced that he would step down as leader of the country. Rumors of his deteriorating health were kept away from the press, a gentleman's agreement of sorts. Jack Reed proclaims he will spend his remaining time with his wife, Louise, and his daughter. Moreover, Reed emphasized his role was to see the country through the revolution, but now a new leader needs to lead it now. Of the attendees of at the Congress, two have gained the most prominence. One is Elizabeth Gurley Flynn of the IWW, who has begun a national campaign to excite voters for a possible female president, namely herself. The other is Norman Thomas, who has led the SPA delegates to work with the Social Democrats to pledge votes to him. There is an understanding that even though this position of leadership is interim until the election, it would still allow either president to exert a great deal of influence over the country's groundwork. Give her a roll. We have rolled a 3, so we'll be Elizabeth Gurley Flynn. So we'll have Madam President over here. Elizabeth Gurley Flynn doing what Miss Clinton could not, I guess. Commonwealth of America arises, but I thought we were supposed to be the combined syndicates now and forever. Following a harrowing civil war, the old hegemony of the American continent has been painted red with the colors of revolutionary syndicalism, having successfully overthrown the federal government in Washington and crushed the counter-revolution launched by Huey Long. The combined syndicates of America called for a second constitutional convention in order to lay the groundwork for a new nation. During this lengthy deliberation, numerous factions bickered, debated, and discussed until a consensus was reached. The new America has rejected the growing threat of totalism and tyranny in favor of a socialist republic maintaining the spirit of American freedom. It remains to see how stable the new government will be and if syndicalists can successfully root out capitalism, their new bastion of liberty. Long live our comrades in America. Okay. So we've done that, and I think we're going to go rush your tank tech. Go armored vehicle industry. Requires dust set. Oh. Right. Alright, I guess we're doing dust settles. I don't want to screw up our tank tech. We have Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, who gives us... He's a humble appeaser. Of course, the woman is the appeaser, right? That's not sexist at all. So we have stability 5%, war support minus 5%. At a dusty underground socialist club in Harlem, Elizabeth Flynn's life as an advocate began. An early organizer for the IWW in New Jersey, Flynn felt the blunt of political wrath against forming trade unions and was arrested 10 times. Flynn helped found the ACLU, which organized a legal defense for strikers in the days before the International Labor Defense. In the lead up to the Civil War, Flynn helped organize the Longshoremen's Strike of the West Coast. Flynn's wartime speeches to the Central Committee to encourage conscription made her stand out to the numerous conscientious objectors in the committee. Ultimately, Flynn was elected to lead America as a shocking dark horse candidate. I don't know, I mean, it was a 50-50 role. Some thought it was absurd that a woman would stand at the forefront of the revolution, but the rebel girl herself had been at the spearhead all along, fighting since the founding of the IWW and now ready to build up a socialist America of her dreams. That doesn't really sound like a humble appeaser to me. If you're at the spearhead, does it? But I guess that's a trait she has. Volunteer forces and transfer. Fuck! So I guess that reset our volunteers. Well, that's unfortunate. tag switch there. Let's continue with these upgrades. Let's get ourselves some cryptology, I guess. Might as well go back to 5 speed while we're just like waiting around for this stuff over here. Constitutional Convention has concluded. The Constitutional Convention has finally come to an end and the new Constitution of America has been written up. Delegates are returning to their home states with a new set of allies and rivals. Despite the optimism expressed in congratulatory photos, the real work of rebuilding the country has just begun. Long live the workers of America. Okay, our capital is Chicago now. Fair enough. Unfortunately, it's like a little bit weird that we wound up with like Elizabeth Gurley Flynn after what was I gonna say there? After, cause she was like the IWW candidate, wasn't she? And like we seem to have like rolled her after picking all the non-IWW decisions, so like that's a bit odd. Let's do that. Recruit and deploy. Let's just yeah, no location set. We're gonna run out of equipment if we keep on dropping those guys. And let's I don't know, we'll send some stuff back to Baharadia, I guess. I'm not sure if it's worth it going back to I mean, I don't know, I mean, we could just sit in a tile or something, get some experience, so whatever, we'll do it. I got mech offensive. Get the comp group. We go for a tank focus first, and then hopefully we don't get fucked up by these bombers too much. Alright, so I'm not sure if this has changed, Dob. We have Harry Bridges, Flamboyant Brutes, building more support class, political power gain, resource gain efficiency, and political power gain and construction speed. It's like not too bad. No longest bombing. Those guys over there. Fall of Beijing. I got form department. Let's get the radio interception group. Alright, the dust has settled. Let's do the armored vehicle industry. Let's just try and farm that tile so we can get Ranger. So we probably want to hold our political power until we can increase our economy law. We probably just need it to fight terrorists. So he's learning Trickster though, I guess, because these other guys are attacking them. Attack over here. Of course, we are going for the Ranger. Trickster would be nice to get too. Trickster and Ranger. I just need someone with bridges. We don't have anyone with bridges right now. That's a forest tile too, though. I mean, if we sit Smedley in a forest tile. Yeah, he doesn't have any terrain traits. He just got adaptable by focus, of course. So go with that person. Paul Robeson takes a world tour. After a long hiatus from acting, socialist activist Paul Robeson is ready for another world tour. With a powerful voice and a collection of traditional African American labor music, Robeson has become the Marian Anderson of socialists in America. Just like Anderson before him, he has chosen to embark on a world tour to spread his music and support for Black American rights to European theaters. The tour included stops in London, Paris, and even Florence. These European audiences, though in touch with American culture, still see Black American culture as exotic. Bon voyage, Robeson. Alright, Russian Empire wants to go to war with Alash Orda. It's like, what's up with this? Like, Russia is not going to war with the Reichspakt? So that's very good for Germany, and maybe not so hot for our pals, the Frenchies over here. Looks like they already lost like a little bit of French Hainaut, like, and this is more or less a stalemate, I would say, but it's maybe double stack this tile if that's what the AI wants to attack. See, maybe we can get some done on Metz here. Doesn't hurt to try. Engineer, we're not learning Ranger though. Let's get ourselves armor development. There we go, now we're learning Ranger. We'll call off that attack. Want to make sure they still stay in those forest tiles, keep on farming the tree we want. Alright, we got first mechanized model researched. Let's go for this construction, let's go for this construction tech, although it would be nice to get our second mechanized tech. Those are a bit far ahead. Amtrak's though, Amtrak's, oof. Should we get Amtrak tech? Under 5 days, not too bad. Amtraks are generally, like, I like Amtraks better than the mech, even though the mech do get the third tier over here with the extra hard attack and soft attack bonus stacked on top of it. That attack over river is just so good. especially if you don't have bridges. Let's go for the LVT. And we have a mech manufacturer. Reliability, production cost, hardness, and max speed is probably what we want. Pick up at Nash Motors. Special truck manufacturer. Okay, it's because it's for motorized rocket artillery. Production cost and armor. It's also a... That'd be an interesting one. Federalist bombing. Okay, but I think hardness is probably what we'll go for. Hardness and max speed. Primer of God Save King Billy. Today, Charlie Chaplin has premiered another movie titled God Save King Billy, which has quickly received glowing reviews from the press. God Save King Billy is a political satirical comedy drama and Chaplin's first true sound film. The film follows two principal characters, an unnamed German barber struggling to make ends meet in Germany, who bears a great deal of similarity with the tramp that Chaplin played in his other movies. The other major character is King Billy, who is a cruel but inefficient buffoon of a leader, an obvious satire of Kaiser Wilhelm II. Throughout the film, it shows the plight of the average German worker while viciously mocking the German government and the Kaiser in particular. The film ends with the barber being mistaken for King Billy and giving a rousing speech where he extols the virtues of goodwill and human brotherhood and gives a strong endorsement for Chaplin's socialist views. Chaplin has outdone himself. Sure, I guess. Whatevs. Oh, it's green bubble now. We'll see. We'll see. Let's keep working on our decryption, I guess. We are still attacking there. It looks like we are, that's not going to work. Let's actually... We'll suck up as much of our manpower as we can into these, and we'll disband as necessary. Because I mean, we're going to lose it anyways to demobilization. So maybe just sit on this one tile. 34% to Ranger, and we're also running Panzer Leader on Smedley, so that's great. Okay, is that over a river? I guess not. We are getting pierced there, so... Alright, we got armor development. Beautiful. Let's start with the... So I guess we're doing industrial unionism. We did not get on the radical socialist path, so... Which is odd, because I think we picked a lot of their options there. Let's go with begin reconstruction first, though. Maybe it's because we elected Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, who kept us as syndicalist. It's like that's a bit fugly, but I mean, again, we were rolling randomly, weren't we? So, whatever. Why he wants the light cruiser? Yeah, sure, whatever. push these guys over here. Catholic workers' movement. While a good number of religious Americans have protested the effects of the revolution, that is not true for all groups. Of these groups, the one that has attracted the most attention and popularity recently is the Catholic workers' movement, led by Comrade Dorothy Day. The movement has attracted popularity for combining Catholicism and socialist values. They focus on the concept of works of mercy. They've also built a number of hospitality houses in many major cities. The hospitality houses are acting as support shelters for those trying to return to civilian life now that the revolution has come to fruition. Live in accordance with justice and charity of Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's rad suck. Okay, like they're kind of like strobing there, aren't they? Can't decide if they want to attack or not. Alright, we've researched the M5, so that's great. And this just says 2 year ahead of time. Okay, so 106 days to get the M9. I don't even know if that's worth a flip, to be honest. Let's make a pocket over here and finish these guys off. Or some more Entente guys we can kill over here, the better. And killing the Dominion of India will make our life considerably easier, I think. Federalist bombing. Yeah, so the Belgians have some of them anti-tank units. Grapes of Wrath primer. Today, the film Grapes of Wrath premiered in theaters. Stop this. The film is based on the book of the same name by acclaimed patriotic author John Steinbeck. The story follows the Jodes, a family from Oklahoma, and their troubles during the Depression prior to the Revolution. The story illustrates the weight that federally enforced capitalism puts onto their average lives and drags their traditional values through the mud of reality. The movie does not deviate from the book with the ending of a much more optimistic tone. The movie does deviate from the book with the ending on a much more optimistic tone, showing the family working for the revolution overthrow their California work camp. The main protagonist, Tom Jode, chooses to stay with his family instead of fleeing into the night, declaring his intention to set up a Red Guard in California to reclaim his farm in Oklahoma. The film has been well regarded by both critics and the public, particularly because of the necessary edit, a film for the masses. Alright, dispersed Indy. So it's the assembly line production. Or maybe construction would have been a better choice there, I don't know. %to Ranger on Smedley there. And really we're fishing for Panzer Leader though, so like I don't know, maybe it's not even worth it to make that attack. Alright, so we've squished those guys over there. So we've begun reconstruction. We will destroy Jim Crow and then we'll deal with the feds. This guy's also learning Urban Assault Specialist, that's kind of neat. Yes, early mob. Do you want to do early mode? But I don't know. We will need. We do need to like also worry about, like I said, like we'll need political power to slam those decisions to start. We also have to start rebuilding to get cores. And this gives us stability and war support too. So we have like a lot of stuff we have to spend our political power on. Unfortunately, American Reconstruction is like a little bit harsh, but. 43 to Ranger. Watch the front. Like I don't think they're in danger of breaking through anywhere else. Like this is a little bit weird. Russia seems to not want to attack Germany, despite I guess not having that civil war. Maybe that's something to do with however Alice Shorta played out over here. I don't know. Do the staff office plan, and let's go for the modern blitzkrieg, of course. Havana has fallen. Oh no, not the Cuban. The Cubans are our buddies. Maybe we should have. I didn't notice they were even in danger. Otherwise, maybe we would have sent some guys to help them against those hated Canadians. Fuck. That's bad. People's Conservation Committee. Since the 1916 National Park Service Act, the Americans have been able to preserve natural splendor safe from industrialization. Since revolution has now been achieved, a movement has cropped up to combine this conservationism with the old progressive ideals. A number of new national parks have been created on top of the houses of capitalism, as well as a People's Conservation Committee to guide their preservation. A top priority of the PCC is to replant trees in the Midwest, the source of dust storms that threaten our food supply. Though it took a lot of convincing to get Congress to fund this project, the PCC hopes that in a few years the dust storms that used to reach Washington, D.C. will only be a memory. And it puts people to work to boot. Okay, there you go. Take Ahmadabad. We're starting to get pierced over here too a little bit. It's not great. Of course, we still are only on medium tank 1. But we'll have medium tank 3 in like a few days anyways, so whatever. Alright, 1940 convention of the Socialist Labor Party. Today marks the 1940 convention of the Socialist Labor Party. While there are many things to discuss at the convention, the biggest assumed shall be the workers' pick to represent the SLP in the 1940 presidential election. The main nominees at the convention are Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, James P. Cannon, and Arturo Giovanni T. Alright, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6 again. We rolled a 2. Okay, so I guess we're sticking with Elizabeth Gurley Flynn. That's unfortunate. I'm not really a big fan of the humble appeaser. She seems totally at odds with the bio they give for that character anyways. I don't know what's up with that. Try to push here maybe. Socialist Party of America. Today marks the 1940 convention of the Socialist Party of America. While there are many things discussed at the convention, the biggest assumed shall be the workers' pick to represent the SPA in the 1940 presidential election. Main nominees are Meyer London, Upton Sinclair, and Norman Thomas. Alright, we'll give her a roll. We've rolled a 1, so it will be Meyer London. See if we can cross here. Alright, so we've done destroy Jim Crow and we'll deal with the feds. Alright, so we have destroy longest terrorists, so we'll do that. And let's, I don't know. Let's rebuild. I don't know, I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's go rebuild the south first. Get corn or oil, I guess, hopefully. 1940 presidential election. Today marks the 1940 presidential election in which party will gain the most votes and thus their nominee will become the next president of the Commonwealth of America. I mean, we'll roll again, but it'd be a bit silly if like the people just like, I mean, we just had this pick, right? So I've rolled a 3, so it'll be Socialist Labor Party. I think that sticks with Gurley Flynn. I don't know, a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, at least it does kind of make sense. I guess it would be a little bit silly. I did not roll twice there. That first roll was heading off the table, so I had to catch it. It was a scuff roll. I didn't know what that would have been anyways. Revolutionary memorials. With the revolution now over, countless memorials have gone up throughout the country to honor the sacrifice of the men and women that made the revolution possible. While many honor those that fought for the revolution itself, there are also ones honoring the struggles like Haymarket Square riot. As these memorials are made by the community, nobody was there to check whether the state statue was appropriate until the press got a hold of the story. Apparently, statues were erected honoring the 1916 Preparedness Day bombing and the 1920 Wall Street bombing. The press claim erroneously that the government approved these memorials and are honoring the bombers. These statues were silently taken down, and an official apology was forced out of the city councils responsible for this mean-spirited action. What? So, let's see here. So I guess those are terrorist actions the syndicalists did. And, okay. So I guess some people think those are heroic and some people think that was terrorism. Fair enough, I guess. Everyone should be honored unless they were bombers. General Secretary election. With the presidential election now completed, it's time for a separate election for the General Secretary of the National Council of People's Deputies, who shall become the next General Secretary. And like, I don't even have a choice here. Oh no! Oh no! Fuck! Construction speed minus 4%. That's unfortunate. Get some more onto Ranger. So Ian King has joined the faction there. Why can't we get early mob? This war support? Yeah, we need 15% war support. So we're learning urban assault specialists like pretty fast. It looks like, or we're pretty close, so. That's a plains tile. Longest bombing. %. We just need Trickster and one terrain trade over here. I don't know. I think it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to get, especially because you can't trigger Trickster with only 2 units. Another research. Let's get the AA. Might need that, like, especially for landing on the beaches. Medium tank 3. We'll pimp ourselves out a little bit. And we can convert medium tank 1 to medium tank 3, which is like insane that you're allowed to do that. Of course, it's just another advantage of having dispersed industry, I guess. Federalist bombing. Crush terrorists. I'm not sure if that's a bug or not, but that seems like a little bit unfair. Fate of the Boy Scouts. No, not the Boy Scouts. They're so wholesome and pure. A question that's come up in regards to the Boy Scouts of America. Some within the Congress regard it as a more reactionary organization, notable for including a pledge that Scouts are loyal to their employers in the days before the Revolution, among other issues. To that end, a number within Congress believe that a new pioneer organization should be created, similar to the ones in socialist countries in Europe, called the Pioneers of America. Unlike the Boy Scouts, this organization will be for both boys and girls. These pioneers are supported by the government to help make sure that the new socialist ideas are passed down to the next generation. Of course, you have to indoctrinate the youth, right? I'll give her a roll. We've rolled a 5, so we will be creating the Pioneers of America. We on Urban Assault Specialist, 29%. It's pretty difficult to farm this late in the game. Federalist bombing. 49% on Ranger though. It will make another play from, I don't know. I think we should probably just go for. Smedley already has adaptable though, so it's like we're really just fishing for Panzer Leader. Let's maybe go for Mets. So Rand decides to go to war with the Ottomans now. Alright, we will destroy loyalist terrorists. What should we pick now? Do you want to come down over this way, or do you want to come down over here? Let's go for a research slot. Or maybe we should do these trials first. Let's go for the trials. Go for a transformative justice. Federalist bombing. Got that. Let's go for construction tech. We'll start building some Amtraks. To Panzer Leader, it's not too bad. And if we take that tile and sit in it, if the AI will try and grind into us, that might be the case. I might also just want to start killing the Indians. If we're gonna have Amtraks anyways, maybe we don't need bridges. We can just use Smedley if he gets Panzer Leader to do adaptable, helping the train. Wall of Gibraltar. Spanish Civil War is still going on? No, it's not. This Iberian Federation had won that a while ago, so I thought, yeah. Alright, we get over here. Let's rebuild the West, I guess. American Artists Congress. The American Artists Congress is an organization that's been created to unite artistic people around the country and help promote the arts within America. From traditional artwork to filmmaking, all are supported within the Artists Congress. It quickly has become a popular organization to show the new avant-garde art of the revolution. The chairman, Ernest Hemingway, has already begun planning for a series of patriotic publications about life during the revolution. Ernest Hemingway's appointment as chairman has caused some backlash from artists like John Dos Passos and John Steinbeck, who claim Ernest's politics have turned authoritarian in recent years due to his work producing propaganda in the 1936 U.S. election. Art for the masses. Forgot my agency upgrades. Let's see, it would be nice if you could just queue those. Longest bombing. I would just try to win the war here for the Indians. It's a mountain, this is a desert. There is a mountain. Must have been looking at the wrong spot there. Well, the Reichspakt and the Taunt will cooperate. It's not good for us. Try pushing into Metz again. John Reed clubs. Throughout the country, a number of literature clubs called John Reed clubs have emerged. They're to help organize writers across the country and to help promote reading and literacy throughout local communities. They focus on socialist literature and in particular the corpus of John Reed's nonfiction work. Alright, Dominion of India has capitulated. Wonderful. So now we can go and attack the Princely Federation. What do we want now? What do we want now? Start working on our navy. Probably don't want to be behind on our rifle. We're behind on our anti-air too. Let's maybe work towards our anti-air. Transformer Justice. We'll destroy longest terrorists. Deal with America first. Trial of the federal government. The revolution over, the time comes now to deal with those that fought against us. The charges among other former Federalist politicians, Douglas MacArthur. Okay. The charges against, among other former Federalist politicians, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I guess the people who were charged include Douglas MacArthur and a bunch of other people. That of seizing the government and suspending civil rights in defense of conservative Democrats. Henry Morgenthau Jr. has appeared in MacArthur's stead due to his recent exile. Representing the business and social interests of the old regime, Morgenthau stated that it was only under MacArthur that the mob violence against Jews committed by the AFP was halted. The testimony of MacArthur's reluctance to accept the extra legal power and his personal accounts of admiring the socialist Jacob Coxey has swayed some. Ultimately, the jury has decided to, and we'll give ourselves a roll here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I rolled a 2. We will pardon the federal leaders. Wow. Ooh, that stinks. That stings. We're gonna get some generals. Maybe they'll be good. Get another reckless panzer leader. Another reckless guy over here. Trescott. This Fortress Buster's pretty good. Another Fortress Buster over here. That's a Not bad generals. Not bad generals. Unfortunately, they're not really what we're looking for. They don't really have any big money traits. So I'm not sure if that's worth 100 political power, but you know, of course, we did a random roll. So Dominion of India is Dominion of India called her quits there. All right, we took Metz. Nice. Got the machine encrypted decryption. We'll do that again over there too. Now it's just the Indian Empire that we have to worry about over here in Baharadia. Get ourselves some rubbers. No, not James Patrick Murphy. Move there. Alright, so that's a nice pocket, isn't it? Get a bunch of these Indian guys. I mainly just wanted to deny the deny Entente India, which we've done. But if we can get Baharadia economy doesn't necessarily join your team, right? If we even decide to go syndicalist, or I'm just gonna roll for it. We're not gonna really matter. We'll work on our cipher school. Austria-Hungary has federalized. We're learning Hillfighter as well too, and Trickster. It might just be a good tile to just sit on if the AI wants to grind into us, you know. We got fire brigades. Let's go for the modern blitzkrieg. That tile's open. Let's get across the river, that'll be helpful. Deal with America first. Let's go work towards revolutionary education for the extra research slot, I guess. We'll keep on building military factories. Promoting sewer socialism. In the old days of the Socialist Party, successes were measured by how clean your sewer system was, especially in Wisconsin, where Morris Hillquit made it his campaign to promise to clean up the city. In reforming and organizing public maintenance services, Hillquit showed that socialism could reorganize systems without having to redefine or destroy the foundations of the system. That principle of sewer socialism must be taken to the whole of the nation. Now that the chains are broken, many cities such as Pittsburgh are filled with pollution that covers the skies. Now that the revolution is over, cities all across the country shall be cleaned up and modernized. We hope that the international community can appreciate a clean sewer as much as it does a skyscraper. The cleanest sewers in the world. Okay. Trial of the AFP. With the revolution over, the time comes now to deal with those that fought against us. Huey Long, so according to Earl Browder, could have been a great ally to socialism. We do admit that Long's plan for welfare was in the right direction, but his authoritarian practice was abhorrent. As Long's family and close associates are now in exile, we'll have to make do with putting the leaders that remain in chains. Francis Townsend has defended the actions of the AFP's core membership, saying that the radical militarism was due to the nature of the Southern populism, not Huey Longism. Some of the jury have been swayed, but the final decision is too. We'll give her a roll again. We have rolled a 6. Seize and arrest all party members. Okay, we got fat stack of political power for that, don't we? Which people use to rebuild the Rocky Mountain states and also fight loyalist terrorists. That's unfortunate. I know the AFP does have some pretty good generals. I'm not sure if they were ones that we would need, but I mean, wouldn't have hurt to have the opportunity, I suppose. '41 World Series. 1941 series of baseball is here. This is the first World Series since the Revolution. Attendance is high. 7 games of baseball over 6 days. The Cincinnati Reds fought the Detroit Tigers. The games are extremely close. The final game is anyone's guess. The winner is Cincinnati Reds. The Reds have won the game. The final game was close, but early Lombardi scored the final home run in the final, securing the win for the Cincinnati Reds, making it so that they won the 1941 World Series. Go Reds! See, those bastards are going to try to cut us off. See if we can intercept that truck. Stone Mountain, Georgia. Within the deep south in Stone Mountain lies a massive bas-relief carving of 3 Confederate figures, Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee, and Stonewall Jackson. The site was also the rebirth of the Ku Klux Klan. Many wish to remove such a blight, especially as other monuments to the Confederacy are torn down. However, people are divided as to what to do about the relief. Some believe it should be destroyed. James Ford, in a cynical turn, wishes to chisel down the Confederates and replace them with Jemmy John Brown and George Padmore, these being the leaders of African American emancipation he feels best inspired the new America. Diego Rivera, the artist behind the renovation of Rockefeller Plaza, suggests a cheap and honorable compromise. The relief is to be re-chiseled down to replace the Confederates with the leaders of socialist revolution. Oh, it's so cursed. Those being Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, and John Reed. Let's give us a roll. We rolled a 5, so it will show the history of socialism. Argentina has joined the Reich Pact, okay. Some SP anti-air. Do you want to start researching a modern tank? That might be a bit much. Engineering, radar. If we're going to work on Navy, radar would be good tech to have. This is 1942. We're getting close to that. It's like we probably want to keep our gun up to date. So what are we learning here? Organizer. Let's actually go ahead and delete all orders here. I do not want to learn organizer. Pan's leader 61%, hill fighter and ranger. Give yourself the old force attack try here. You want to work in artillery? Maybe start researching stuff for our Navy. Improved worker conditions. We're already fighting terrorists. We'll have to rebuild. Looks like Argentina has decided to balkanize. Of course, we have. I don't know if I commented on this. I did notice this when I was taking a peek around. But we have a nationalist Chile as paternal autocrats are in the Internationale. It's like, that's a bit weird, isn't it? I think I also saw another one too. That was where was that? When I was looking around before I started recording. There was some other place that was in the Internationale. I think it was Norway. Norway, yeah. Norway is in the Internationale, but they are market liberal. Maybe France is like betraying the revolution a little bit, you know? Stop our economy law. So Netherlands. Okay, now the war has started over here. Although it looks like it's going pretty good for Reichspakt. That's interesting. So it looks like they may actually need the Third International might actually need our help. I got social revolution. We'll do revolutionary education. What do we want to do here? Destroy longest terrorists. Isn't this fun, guys? We get to quick decisions. Look how immersive, interactive that is, you know? I don't know. It's such a pain in the ass. It's like, do a focus or something like that. Like, you don't have to babysit every 20 political power we get, you know? Gotta click a decision. It's easy to miss that pop-up, too. Especially when you're trying to do other things. Take out the Bombay. Force attack here. Alright, Indian Empire capitulated. That's great. Oof, so Reichspakt has air superiority. Panzer expert as well, and the offensive doctrine. So we have the double Panzer leader. And unfortunately, like, the defense value on tanks isn't as high as their breakthrough, unfortunately. That's the way she goes. The USA Trilogy by John Dos Passos. Film montage, modernist writing, and socialist spirit come together in John Dos Passos' new book, USA. The story itself is an examination of 12 Americans that lived through the Depression and Revolution. Passos' writing combines snippets of newspapers, propaganda, and the conversations he recalls in the streets during the terrifying months before liberation. Such an unorthodox and creative writing is usually praised by American Writers' Congress, but they have remained silent. This is due to the book's depiction of illegal killings that took place throughout America during the Civil War by our soldiers. Dos Passos has defended this inclusion, saying that the truth in art, as he shows it, must still exist even if it is bleak. To the nominal leader of the Writers' Congress, Ernest Hemingway, this book amounted to treason and sedition against the socialist government. However, his decision to censor the book and detain Dos Passos was overruled by the Congress. Alright, let's roll over here. Number 5. Hemingway is right. Oh no. I guess we're arresting that guy. I thought we were supposed to be the good guys here as, well, no, I don't. I mean, we're pretty obviously evil America. But that's, yeah, it's harsh. Tell it like it is, you go to jail, right? I thought we were fighting for freedom and liberty over here, but that was a lie, wasn't it? I thought freedom of speech was guaranteed, wasn't it? Wasn't that in our Constitution? Yeah, Maryland, actually, I should have been building in Maryland. What was I thinking? Look at that. 13 factories we can build in Maryland, 100% extra bonus speed. Decisions. Nope, nothing worth taking there. Doing that. Okay. Operations. Should we infiltrate? We got probably do some stuff over here. Let's infiltrate their army. I don't know. I don't think we'll actually need that to win the war, though. Force stack again. I mean, it took us forever to get over that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is definitely a tile we'd like to hold. We're getting lots of farm there, I think. 63% Hill Fighter, 61% Panzer Leader, 65 on Trickster. Smedley have another. He hasn't leveled up yet, though. It's unfortunate because I would like to get Camouflage Expert. They do have Cass. Ecuador joins in Day Impact. We'll go with the Grouped Anti-Air. You got revolutionary education. So what should we get with revolutionary education? Let's maybe start working on. You get some radar. Go up to partial mob. Let's work on our radar. Federalist bombing. I don't know, we'll go redistribute some wealth, I guess. And that's what socialists love, right? Redistributing wealth. We need to disband some more units. We're getting manpower capped here. Alright, we got the improved light gun. Let's go for the advanced light gun. I think the USA maybe has like some unique pictures for that stuff. I don't remember that usually looking like that. It's learning Trickster pretty fast. Also Hill Fighters. So that'd be good. If we can get Improv Expert on at least one person, that's gonna really help us out. Federalist bombing will destroy longest terrorists. And quite high attack on Smedley too as well. I think that's pretty good. That's also a bit concerning over here. That's actually very concerning. We'll need to counterattack. Unifications. With the revolution, one of the changes that has come is transformation in terms of vacations. The workers of America rarely got to enjoy all the luxuries that are created, and the progressives would say belong to the people. However, many of the struggling masses got to enjoy picnics or visiting national parks when they had to work as many hours just to survive and feed their children. No longer will this be the case. The various local unions across the country, regardless of which federation they belong to, have begun to take over and manage various cultural centers as well as help sponsor vacations. This is supported by the government at both a local level and national level as a way to boost productivity and encourage comradeship. Culture belongs to the people. See if we can push here. We can. Let's get ourselves blueprint stealing, I guess. Just make sure Metz doesn't fall. That's our grinding tile. Fortunately, we don't have signals companies, which is a bit unfortunate. This is also a problem. St. James Patrick Murphy over to Union of Britannian. Yeah, keep the. It's interesting. I'm not used to the maybe the balance has changed after this patch. I think the Reichspakt did well in the Transimer game. The Reichspakt is doing well in this game over here too. Do nearly full recovery from the Civil War, I guess. Do women's liberation. That seems like something Elizabeth Gurley Flynn would do, so we'll do that. Victory of the Baharadia Commune. Okay. Destroy longest terrorists. Alright, we got some more guys in Gloucester, Shiresville, or whatever. That's interesting. I noticed our volunteer commander didn't automatically fade out when you switch theaters. Like, I wonder if that's been fixed. Like, I'm not even sure if that was considered a bug before, but that was always kind of odd. I thought, like, you send a guy over as volunteers and he has to wait. Like, once you guys get there, 30 days. Let's see if we can clean up this Entente invasion, which of course would be absolutely sick. Oh, is that a gun 3? Oh, that this machine kills whatever it is. Is that the guy? Oh, like socialist artists. Let's see here. If we get here, let's go for the Navy Department. Might be important to get later. Alright, so this will be cleaned out right quick. We'll just maybe keep these guys here just in case we need to shore up the Union of Britain again. Deploy to Birmingham, I guess, is their capital that they decided on. And it looks like Germany's not so inclined to grind into us over here anymore. Alright, there we go. There we go. Okay. I don't have the army experience for that, so maybe let's wait on that. And let's pick up a navy. Yourselves. What are our options for navy? I don't think it says, actually. Let's go for the trade interdiction doctrine, I guess. Got that. Let's work on our the AO carbine over here. I'll send these guys around this way over here and try to go for something there. Get 4 tank divisions in France, try and break through, be a lot better than 2, obviously. So we picked that up. What else do we need here if we're gonna do our navy? Get the advanced cruiser hull for the engine. Might be what we want to do. See if we try and bait the AI into attacking there, but that's not going to work, is it? Could try to push into Nancy here. Okay, now they want to attack. There we go. Picked up Naval Department. Let's go for anti-partisan. And rebuild the Pacific Coast.